They say that hindsight is 20/20, that when we look back, it's easy to see what we know now and would have liked to have known then. When I think about the choices I made and how it impacted my results in competition, or how it inconvenienced me or cost me money or just set me back in some way, I see valuable lessons there that we can apply to the present and the future to achieve the success we're after in the barrel pen. I really feel as though we always need to be looking and planning ahead and constantly being aware and making connections between our actions and our results. In today's video, I'll be sharing several tips for making sure the odds are stacked in your favor before you even pull out of the driveway. I've mentioned that many of the tips I'll be sharing with you today are those I learned the hard way through years of experience, but trust me in that if you have dreams to get to the NFR, for example, that there is not enough time for you to learn all these lessons the hard way. I really encourage you to put the tips I'm sharing today into action yourself, but that you'll also learn from other people's mistakes and experiences as a way to fast forward your own progress. I hope that whenever you're presented with an opportunity to overcome a challenge of any kind, that you'll really think for a moment, how can I prevent this from ever happening again? Because let's face it, mistakes come with a price, but way too many of us just head down the road without putting the necessary preparation in and end up in sort of a state of ignorant bliss, blind to the fact that we're almost like a disaster waiting to happen. So let's start with one of the most important areas we need to have a head start on, which is getting our horses completely safe as well as confident and comfortable in and around the trailer. I don't have any young horses right now, but when I do, it's not uncommon for them to spend hours practicing standing tied. Now, none of our horses currently have a habit of pulling back, but because I'm super safety conscious and don't always trust other horses around mine when we're traveling, I often use the clip. So if my horses got in a bind, they'd be able to get away safely from whatever drama might be going down around them. If your horse does pull back, there's a lot you can do to help them, which might include staging some kind of drama while you hold a wrap around a fence rail and then releasing when your horse yields to the pressure. So speaking of yielding to pressure, this is an absolutely critical safety feature I instill on all of our horses, which is that I want them to completely understand the meaning of yielding to steady pressure anywhere on their body. This means that if I need them to step over in the trailer, that I just lightly push on their body and they move over. Now, it's common for horses to be a little bit insecure in the trailer, so this really has to be established so well in order for it to hold up when our horses are a little nervous or distracted. You can practice this a lot by just applying steadily increasing pressure and then releasing when the horse yields. Even pretend your horse is covered in polka dots and every spot is a place you should be able to yield them away from you. Remember also that it's the intention and focus behind the pressure that has the meaning. Making this differentiation is important so they don't think they have to move every time they're touched. This brings me to building our horses' confidence about placing their feet. Now, as prey animals, it's not surprising that horses are very protective of their feet and their ability to control them. For a horse to hand over complete control of their feet to us is an ultimate sign of trust. When a horse is unconfident about placing his feet, he might not be willing to be guided with precision around the barrel, for example. He might fidget in the roping box, or he might get in a hurry and stumble around in kind of a panic when asked to step in or out of the trailer. This is something I've worked with .com a lot. He used to tremble in the trailer, but it was very subtle. So I challenge you to really pay close attention to the little signs your horse might show you that he's really not relaxed and confident, and then take measures to improve that. When I was preparing to load .com at Liberty, helping him fall in love with the trailer was just a matter of creating a positive association with it. Now I've developed a very advanced communication with him that is not at all dependent on being connected to him with an actual rope or line as well. But in addition to that, for about a month we fed him his evening grain in the trailer with another horse and then left him in there for an hour or so afterward. It's important not to take them out right away because after that meal they get a little sleepy and relaxed, and it didn't take long until he would come running to get in the trailer. So I think it's a great idea to teach your horse to be sent into the trailer, and a reverse slant presents some specific challenges, being that you can't always be in with your horse to unload them. And so we have taught our horses to lead backwards by the tail and to absolutely not start backing out until we ask them. On top of that, I always make absolutely certain a horse is untied before I undo the butt bar, just to be on the safe side. Because our horses are confident about placing their feet, they don't get panicked going up and down the trailer ramp, so it's much less likely that they're going to trip, fall, stumble, or just experience stress when loading or unloading. I always try to give myself extra time so that I can still and reiterate these good habits we've established in these guys. It's really all about making a positive experience and really setting them up for success. and for them and us to be completely safe, confident, and comfortable. Now, to make the trailer more comfortable, we have padding here under the rubber mats, and we're eventually going to be installing an air ride suspension system. A lot of people are fans of soft ride boots, but it's my suggestion that if you're going to use them regularly, it's ideal to boot your horse up on all 4 feet instead of only just the front. If your horse isn't real comfortable with being in a stall and you don't actually have stalls at home, then go ahead and get an electric fence kit and build a temporary stall for your horse and install them next to another horse, either for half the day or at night, so that it becomes a positive place for rest and reward. And again, make sure you feed them there. So for many of us, getting our horse trailer serviced and getting the bearings greased, making sure we have more than one spare tire, and all the tools we need is a no-brainer. But if you've lucked out and haven't had a flat in a long time, then you may be overdue to check these things out. There's nothing worse than not having the tools you need to get fixed and back on the road right away. So you might even run through a staged flat at home and make absolutely sure you have everything you need if you get in a bind. There's some things we just don't have control over, but making sure we have the right tools and are prepared for adverse circumstances is completely within our control. So I don't want you to make any of this any harder on yourself than it has to be. So I've included some thorough checklists in a past post below, and it also includes a first aid kit checklist, which I also feel is super important. All of these preparations is what helps keep you and your horses safe and healthy. So if you value them and you value your rig and you take these steps for emergency preparedness, it's just all part of taking really good care of them and truly honoring your barrel racing dreams. The last and maybe most important aspect of preparation I want to talk about is the important action steps we must take when we just find ourselves in a mental and emotional rut. It might totally be circumstantial. Maybe you've just been plagued with challenge after challenge or a bad run. It's just really wearing on you. Whatever it is, we must have the strength to just take the small but consistent steps to get out of that rut and change our attitude and perspective. First, you might just need to scrap the pressures of your to-do list and either get moving to get some endorphins flowing or get some rest, whichever you feel you need most, and just do it. Next, find and soak in nothing but uplifting positivity and truth. For me, that means reading and studying God's Word, praising and worshiping Him, listening to uplifting music. This is something I take pretty seriously because I feel called to inspire and educate and make waves in the world through my barrel racing. And it's not necessarily an easy path all the time, and we really need to have systems of support in place through these challenging times. So this is what it looks like to me. At least 30 minutes of inspirational reading every morning. A K-Love music app and the She Reads Truth app on my phone. Lots of positive, uplifting music in iTunes, including teleseminars and podcasts. Another positive, uplifting music playlist in YouTube. This is my smile file, which you'll see is actually many files. It is a collection of image quotes of thousands of inspirational, uplifting quotes with images that I've saved from the internet over several years. This is a Word document. I just checked, it is 87 pages long. Again, this is evidence of my quote collection, and this is just something great to fall back on and really dive into anytime you feel like you're in a bit of a slump. So there you go. What I want for you is to feel and experience excitement to test your preparation on the pattern in competition versus feeling extreme nervousness, worry, or dread. I want you to feel cool, calm, confident, and prepared. I want your horse to feel that. I want barrel racing to be a positive, joyous expression of the dedication and love that you have put into it. So remember, applied knowledge is power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.